Hey guys, so today we have a Mikayla Nogueira update after everything that has happened. And today's themes are darker, but we won't focus on that too much. We'll focus on kind of what happened afterwards. Today's video is very kindly sponsored by Wild, who make the most incredible deodorants as well as other self-care products, shower gels, lip balms, the whole thing. They actually have a really exciting launch. It's the Alice in Wonderland launch, which is probably perfect for this because the scents can get really interesting, and interesting they got. So if you guys want a 20% off, you can click the link in the description, or you can scan this QR code. And now let's get into the Alice in Wonderland collection. We have these 3 scents. The Mad Hatter's Tea Party, which is incredible. It has a tea vibe to it, but it's not just like straight tea, so don't fret. We also have the Cherry Tarts, and cherry has been such a popular trendy scent. My favorite high-end perfume is a cherry scented one, and this plus that is the most incredible combination. I love cherry scents and it's just so good. I also have this one in the lip balm, which I'll be putting in next. I'm still going through my other one. And then we have Alice's Secret Garden, which is a rosy note but very mature and reminds me of another high-end perfume. So if you're, I just can't quite put my finger on it, but there's kind of like a rosy undertone, but not very old-fashioned rose. If you're very against rose, this is not that rose. It's very, very sophisticated. If you guys been watching my content for a while, you know a lot of this stuff, and that's why you love Wild, because you let me know all the time how much you love it. We have natural ingredients, no harsh chemicals, aluminum, salts, parabens. I went American there with the aluminium. It's enriched with shea butter and coconut oil to add in extra moisture, which you guys know I've got chronically dry armpits, but not since using Wild, and that's why I can never stray from Wild. Like, I'm Wild for life. It's gentle on all skin types, but then also comes in sensitive versions for some scents if you're extra sensitive, because Wild is really looking out for you guys. Scientifically proven to have 24-hour protection, and I can agree with that 100%. I do physical work every single day, and at the end of the day, I do not smell, which is incredible. It's like a feat. The reusable premium cases, you guys know, they're made from aluminium as well. Each compostable refill, because these are compostable, save 30 grams of plastic. Obviously, you guys know I made the switch because of how sensitive my armpits are. They just couldn't handle regular deodorant. I would be itching and scratching. It was actually not fun. But since using Wild, literally no issues. And there have been moments where I went on holiday and stupidly forgot my Wild, bought a deodorant, and suffered like nothing in the world. At that point, I'd rather wear no deodorant and be a problem to everyone else. So like I said, you guys can get 20% off with my link, or you can just scan this QR code, which makes it super duper easy. And yeah, just make sure to try Wild. It is my favorite sponsor. Don't tell everyone else. Now let's get back into the tea. Subscribe, hit the bell, like, comment for engagement. Let's just get into it. This is the original video that Michaela posted about the whole thing. Now, I'm not going to recap as much. If you want, I've posted like 2 or 3 videos about this now. Basically, Mikayla Nogueira posted, I don't know, 15, if I was guessing, TikToks about clearly going through something tough in her life. And people were speculating a lot whether it was to do with Cody, because they weren't seeing him as much, but then he would appear in her content every now and then, and she would cry on camera, but then get angry if people speculated, but then not address what it was, and it was causing a lot of commotion. And then TikTok was on the verge of being banned, and then it wasn't banned, and then she came back to announce her skincare line POV, and so a lot of people thought that she was using something tragic happening in her life to promote her skincare line. I personally, despite my slight dislike of Mikayla Nogueira, was saying that I don't think she would do that. That I think it would actually be a really sociopathic thing to do, and that I just don't think she has that in her. And I still kind of stand by that, I think. But a lot of people have varying opinions. I mean, there's definitely like a spectrum of opinions. If you're a fan, you think nothing of it. And then if you're not a fan, you might think that she was using that to promote her skincare line. And then you might be somewhere in the middle if you're watching this video. Now, I'm going to go into this with, let's not speak badly of Cody, and let's not speak badly of the situation. If you want to speak badly of anything else, be my guest. Let's keep this a positive environment, okay? So she posted the original video, which is her addressing where Cody has been and what the actual situation is. After which she posts a response to a comment that said, "We're here for you and Cody," and she does kind of like an eat with me and elaborates further on what has been happening. Obviously, this is a very serious situation, so like I said, let's keep things extremely civil. I know you guys wouldn't like stoop that low, but I just like to put reminders out there. So then she goes back to regular content where she's reviewing, I think there was some kind of like a Sephora VIP sale type of thing happening. And she posts content about that. And in the comments, there are varying opinions. Some people are like, oh, so you're just like in between back to regular content. But it's like, yeah, she kind of has to work, right? This is her job. Can't believe I'm doing the Michaela defending. Everyone joking about turning off the tears for the next video. I've cried in the car on the way to work and then gone into work completely fine. This is her job. Get over yourself. And she said, oop, period. I love your ability to creating content when you need support the most. Now I see how hard this year has been for you. Tears dried so fast. She's doing her job. And then she posts a response to a comment that says, you still showed up. You did your job. Make sure you give yourself some grace and everything you're going through too, babe. Congrats on the success and praying for you and Cody. Now she also responds to an unhinged comment, which I'm saying this is unhinged. Someone said, you'd have to not be sober to be around this woman, which is what I mean when I say like stooping low is so unnecessary. At the end of the day, Mikayla Nogueira might be the villain of the internet, but she's not a murderer. Like, she hasn't like, killed someone, right? She like undisclosed some ads. Undisclosed as if it's like an active thing. Like, she didn't disclose ads and she is money hungry. Like, let's all relax. She's not a murderous villain. So yeah, to say that someone needs to be on drugs to be around her is a really low thing to say, and I hope I don't have to be telling that to my audience, but I think we're all just like in agreement of that. And then someone says, this is marriage. I'm so proud of both of you and I pray nothing but love and blessings for your lives, to which she responds again and kind of goes further into why she is supporting him and why she stands by Cody, which of course, like, she picked him as a husband. But then comes the controversial video, I guess, and she does a get ready with me to see Cody in rehab. They get these like weekend meetings that are supervised in rehab, and she does a get ready with me to see my husband, which people thought is extremely insensitive, giving a little bit Black Mirror. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not my husband. I don't quite know what he's comfortable with. I'm not here to say whether he is or isn't comfortable with that, but it's just, to me, it's like a little bit Black Mirror, I guess. And in that video, actually, what's really interesting is she says that when she was having one of her supervised visits, someone that is there sat next to them supervising them and like listening to the whole conversation right at the beginning said that they're a massive fan of Mikayla Nogueira to her face, which is like so unprofessional. And I'm sure it's some kind of a violation of your workplace. Like, as someone who works in a setting like that, even if you know who Michaela is and you're a big fan, you should not be saying that, because then they're sat there this whole time not being able to like have a conversation because now Michaela knows that you know who she is, right? Like, it's just so unprofessional. Yeah, so mainly people are addressing that rather than how like uncanny this video is. But Beauty Guru Chatter on Reddit, which is like one of those main beauty drama subreddits on Reddit, they posted about it and said, Michaela posts a video, get rid of me to visit my husband in rehab. And the person who basically made this post said, this is diabolical, to go from dishonest reviews to undisclosed ads to supporting James Charles to exploiting her own husband's active relapse in order to shill her brand. On the scale of shamelessness from Jacqueline to Jeffrey, she's approaching the latter fast. And I think what's really difficult about the situation is, and I think I spoke about this in a recent video, and let me know if you guys think the same, if you agree. There is this phenomenon on the internet where essentially the moment someone goes through something tough in life, anything they've ever done that was bad gets automatically erased. And I think the most extreme version of this that we've seen is someone is a bad person and then they die, and it's a tragedy because someone died, but now suddenly they could have literally been committing crimes their whole lives, but because they died, anyone who's ever criticized them gets on, oh, it's your fault that they're dead, blah, even though this critique was valid, right? So like, I've been criticizing Michaela very validly my whole career, but obviously I don't believe in God, but God forbid anything happened to her. People would point fingers at me and say, oh, well, it's your fault, you know, how dare, even though this whole time I was validly criticizing her and I had every right to do that. And just because something ended in tragedy doesn't then mean that I was in the wrong. And so now people are almost going back, and I've seen many of these comments being like, oh, and she was going through so much and she was criticized this whole time. Yeah, like, no one was criticizing her because her husband went into rehab. Like, people are criticizing her because she's not disclosing sponsorships, which is against the FTC guidelines. Like, she's breaking the law, allegedly, and like, she's money hungry. Like, I'm allowed to do this while she's also going through that. The shocking part of this is we're all going through things. I'm going through things, she's going through things, you're watching this, going through things, and yet we are still all open to critique. I get criticism daily in my comment section, and I don't turn around and I say, oh, but this happened to me. We're all going through stuff. That's like life. I don't think I know a single person who isn't going through something, whether it's on a larger scale or on a smaller scale. Everyone's going through things. And so I don't want this to turn into like a, well, we're not allowed to criticize Michaela because of this, which a lot of people are now saying that she is using the Cody thing as a cover-up right after her brand launch, so that if you have anything bad to say about her skincare line, she's like, oh, but I'm going through this thing and I'm a victim, and people are going to be like, oh, how dare you criticize her, she's going through this thing. Now, I don't want to believe that she's a sociopath. I don't want to believe that she's using her husband's misfortune as a cover-up for critique. But maybe she is, and clearly people are starting to feel that way. Please tell me she didn't actually say to see my husband in rehab. ETA, nope, literally did say, get rid of me to see my husband in rehab. I can't. Her philosophy in life is anything for views. I mean, I understand that she probably has less fans and less views because of how inauthentic she is with her viewers, but this cannot possibly be how she thinks she's going to get viewers back by exploiting her husband, which is what I was saying, where like the views were getting low, and then the moment she started crying on camera but not saying why she's crying on camera, the views went up, and then she released her skincare line. And so is it such a leap? But then, like I said, I don't want to believe that she's a sociopath. So someone said anything for the coin with her. She is revolting. She disgusts me. I had to leave the snark sub. Not because I disagree with snarking on her, but because seeing Michaela in my feed so often was starting to raise my blood pressure. Then we have a Just Trish clip where Trish is a bit more neutral, but Oscar has the same opinion essentially as a lot of non-Michaela fans. And you can see that Trish is trying to be quite like neutral because I guess she didn't have this point of view, but when he said it she was like, oh yeah, I mean I kind of see where you're coming from, to which Michaela then responds sobbing on Instagram stories and basically being like, I just bought some tickets to Just Trish and I love her so much, I'm such a big fan of her, and now I don't know what to do. And I think it's just a guilt tactic. I mean, you can just not go to the show, or you can go to the show, but people are allowed to criticize you without you going on Instagram and being like, in the midst of my husband going into rehab, how dare you speak about me, basically. Like, people are allowed to criticize you, and Oscar made some very good points. If you're doing a get rid of me to go see my husband or any other video and you are like pointing product label front to the camera, it is disingenuous and it kind of takes away from the whole vulnerability and authenticity of the video. To which then Trish responds on TikTok and basically is like, I'm so sorry, I hurt your feelings. And it's just such a, now no one is going to criticize Michaela, and if they do, she's going to guilt trip them and they're going to go, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, even though Michaela does many things that deserve criticism. And so I think it's a bit hard because even I'm going to get now for criticizing her very validly, even though I try to be nuanced, and I could say really mean things, and I could, you know, because in that in one of these videos where she talked about Cody going to rehab, at the end she basically takes many of jabs at drama channels, which is like, why? You're the one not following the FTC guidelines, and you're the one lying to your fans, and you're the one being disingenuous for money. Like, what have I got to do with that? I'm just pointing it out, sister. But it's just an easy way to say, now I'm the victim and how dare you speak about me. And I'm just really sorry that Cody's going through that. I'm really sorry for everything that Michaela's going through. I can't even imagine how difficult it is, but it doesn't take away from my critique, because I've never criticized Cody or his past, and I've never criticized Michaela's approach to Cody in the relationship. That's none of my business, frankly. But I will continue to speak out if I believe that she is not following FTC guidelines, or if I believe that she is using her fans as cash cows, because I don't believe that to be fair. And that is my opinion. So you let me know yours. Subscribe, hit the bell icon for engagement. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.